What is going on? Actually, what is going on? Technical difficulties, not on my end, but on this platform's end. It's trying to, not recognize, my request to actually go live. So hopefully people get the notifications and, it'll hopefully show up in your feed as a replay. That's what it seems like I have been experiencing lately. So if you don't know, this is Too Cool to Con. You're listening to the proprietor, Reek, Reek, the creator of Too Cool to Con, you know, and hopefully we can get some people to rejoin. I seen you was up in here for a moment, Tony Styles. I went on a little late. I've been actually editing some Lions Den. It's been a while since I done edited the Lions Den, and I figured, you know what? It's time to get up on it. So I was doing that and mixing down a track towards it. So, whenever I do drop it on YouTube, because like I said, I think I'm gonna start making the Lions Den available exclusively to Patreon, since this platform doesn't like to, compensate its creators as they should. If you're following a list or if you're, you know, doing what the corporations say by spouting, the mantra that they spout on various uh, social media platforms, on news medias and things like that. If you're going along those guidelines, then, you get the green light. But if you are, you know, wise to what they're actually trying to put down, they're going to try to throw every blockade that they can possibly conceive. And I look at it like this: it's not even them having to um, so much have a physical person do it. It's all through algorithms, AI. That's what controls all of these platforms, not just one or the other. If you're a major platform, you're having a artificial intelligence, go through every word letter that a person is saying. Oh, is that harmful? Could this be deemed as, something controversial? We may have to, put the brakes on, that message getting conveyed. Post industrial lifestyle, most definitely. Some, and I did a Lions Den podcast about the fourth industrial, uh, revolution, you might as well say. And I actually had to go back and listen to it because now that I see how things are moving, it's not for the benefit of a man that likes to, get his hands dirty. It's not for that person. It's more, and I won't even say it's a thinking person's thing. If they want to marginalize you, they can do it in a tech savvy way. A way where you're like, well, why am I not, getting any connections, you know, in the digital realm? Because that's what it all seems like. We're digital now. It's past analog. We're in the digital realm. So you just got to get better and hopefully have people under your belt that are tech savvy to work through this. They say democracy, technocracy. That's what we're faced with right now. It's so many things. You got to do this, or you won't be you'll be not denied this, and we'll be right because we control the mass media machine, and we pump this out 24 hours. It's nonstop. And the TV, the phones, none of that goes off. So we're updating people with this propaganda daily. So it's an uphill battle for you that don't want to go along with the non-thinking program. Yeah, we're operating a technocracy. And you know, they say, oh, it's a democracy. We're not even in a democracy, we're in a republic. So if you say technocracy, is it even a technocracy? It could be even something beyond that. Like I said, artificial intelligence runs a lot of things. Think about it like this: a lot of people don't pay attention to this. I know, you know, a lot of cities are being switched over, but they're being gentrified and they're being called, you know, quote, smart cities. Now, some people, oh, smart cities good. You know, you see those Lyft, you know, little scooters where you pay so much through your phone and you can ride the scooter throughout the city. But if you ever notice, like depending on what area you're in, you know, you don't never see anybody maybe in your neighborhood riding those particular scooters. They may post them up at the exits or entrance of certain, you know, fairways where traffic goes. So they serve double purposes. The double purpose is okay, mostly because there's no payphones anymore. We can track cell phones, and how they track cell phones, what people don't realize is more than one way. But the easiest way, usually, like say when you go to someone's house, you're like, "What's your Wi-Fi code?" Because I don't want to use all my my cell data on my phone. So usually you have your phone switched to, you know, search out the Wi-Fi. Well, a lot of people forget to turn that off. If you don't turn it off, if you ever notice, like say you're out, you know, just say you're out at a restaurant and there's a whole bunch of other businesses around, and you open up the Wi-Fi, it'll show how many different Wi-Fi's that is in the area. So essentially, your phone's connecting to those Wi-Fi's. It's not actually connecting until you put in a password, but it's recognizing that particular signal. Well, that on the other end is telling where you're actually at. Like, okay, he's in this location right now. He's in this particular establishment because this particular establishment is the strongest signal to where his, you know, GPS location is. So you figure if you're riding in someone's car and you're going through certain areas and you see those bikes that's locked up to, you know, the street poles, you know, next to the entrances or exits of certain, you know, main streets, your phone signal is getting hit by each one of them, just like it would be hit by a cell tower. But now, since we're in 5G, is even better proximity. Back in the day when it's 4G and 3G, you know, it would have to wait to hit a cell tower. So that's a more broader area. And if it's more broader, then they got to kind of figure, okay, where is it actually at? Because that cell phone is right here, and we got the signal some probably within this circumference essentially. But now with these smart scooters and things like that, and even when they had smart cars, they don't have them in our city no more. But they used to put smart cars. You see one part on the left side of the street, right side of the street, whichever way, on opposite opposing sides of the street. A car, bike, motorcycle, whatever, roll past between there. Your cell phone is hitting the what is it? I'm trying to think. Not the hotspot in the car. It's hitting the hotspot and it's connecting to it. So it's telling that you were in that particular area. You know, that's why a lot of times you're like, well, how does, you know, my phone know what's a better route for me to take? Because it's documenting the route you take by these hot spots that they got set out through the city. And think about it, they even got even a more micro spot, even more than those scooters that may happen to be at certain gateways. They got them in these new street lights. These new street lights have them in the if you notice, back in the day it used to be the halogen style street lights. It'd be more of a yellowish color, but now you see it's a more bluish tinge and it's a more focused. Well, they're saying, yeah, that it lights up the street better, but it also has 5G technology in those too. So when you pass any of those light poles, it's hitting where you're at throughout the city. Now, maybe if you're more in the sticks, it may be spread out a little bit more, but throughout the city, the metropolitan, as they say, you're being tracked all throughout there. As long as you're carrying that cell phone, but you're also being tracked through your license plates because, as I done spoke on before, it's technology probably on city vehicles, fire trucks, ambulances, law enforcement vehicles, where they don't have to I mean, they could probably old school still manually type in your plate, but it's technology on those cars, they're cameras, where that's why, if you notice, the plates, they're flat, they're the letters are usually black and a white background, depending on what state you're in, or I don't see vice versa, black plate with white letters. But they're in a color scheme where that scanner can actually pick up, your license plate information. So if your car is parked on a certain street so many times, figure with meter maze, okay, this car been parked out X amount of times. We don't care what the machine is saying. If we don't ran our vehicle, or so many of our vehicles don't ran through here so many times, this means he's been here this long, and it shows that it's past his parking time, so we can issue him a ticket. Or if you've been parked in a neighborhood over 72 hours, as they say, they can issue a ticket. Your car been sitting longer than 72 hours, so we can issue a ticket for that. Somewhere where they were trying to track you, they were like, well, where is he at? Okay, well, it shows up on the map because it's like a big grid. It shows on the map, okay, his car is over here. So let's see if we can track where he's at, wherever he's located. I even done seen when everything started opening back up, once it did, you go into casinos. I mean, they've been having facial recognition technology in casinos, but you see it now and it shows your temperature. So they're scanning your body temperature too. So say if your temperature is like you having a fever or something, that automatically stopping you right there. Like, you know what? You got a temperature. You can't even come in here because the technology done picked up on it. You can't come in because of that reason. So the technology is moving faster than what people are really realizing. People are still stuck in them all like, oh, everything's outdated. They can't catch up on whatever. Just like the new thing. I mean, I won't say it's the new thing. It's the new thing that done hit the media. When I say this with President Biden, as they say, they said he has a thing with the. Hold on a second. I have someone calling in. Tony Styles. To accept, press 1. What's going on, Tony?
Hey, what's going on, Vic? How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Alright. Yeah, so good to finally talk to you and shit.
Yeah. I've been wondering, like, man, every time I've been wanting you to call in, you're like, man, I'm moving around and busy and things.
Yeah, man. I do a lot, man. Trust me, I do a lot. I'm going through a lot. But, like, quick story, right? I used to listen to you, what I'm saying, when I was behind the wall and shit, when little phones used to get passed around the block.
Right.
Yeah, niggas used to be like, yo, check out that too cool for calling, man. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, man, we used to pass those Ken Ivy videos around, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the old podcasts and stuff, you know what I'm saying? So,
right.
It's man, cool, but, yeah, man, that 5G and the technology we're going through right now, man, and, it's really a takeover of humanity, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So they don't need humans anymore because we're in the post-industrial world now.
Right.
So if you notice, they have a goal of bringing the population down by 70%. So they're using every means to get rid of us. And if it means having a certain percentage of us locked in our phone all day and just out the way, that's what it is. They're getting rid of us with Corona, they're getting rid of us with vaccine. Well, I don't want to say that on here, you know what I'm saying? But, you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man. So what do you think about all this?
I think about it like this. You know, they call it what they call it. We've been knowing, you know, colds and flus forever. Just like
Yeah,
let me look at it like this where you could understand it. Like you go to certain parts of the inner city, you see it's Starbucks and things like that that was never in the, you know, inner city, but now it's there because it's other people that, you know, don't look like you or me that's there. You know, so
right.
that goes with, they call that gentrification. Well, they just gentrified, you know, basically cold and sickness. They call it by another name now. They don't call it what it used to be
Right.
called. So with that being
Right.
said, now we can put new stipulations like, well, if you don't do this, then you know you're probably facing this because you know this is so horrid and things like that. No, you genderfied it. This has always been
Yeah.
around. People always die from something. It ain't something that you know they can give you and you're gonna live forever. Nothing they can do guarantees that at all. So
Yeah.
basically, you just this is another way to marginalize us to get us out the way. You know, like you said.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. And it's a hell of a way to control too, you know what I'm saying? You see what's going on in Australia, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy over there. And that's really the beta test for the rest of the world.
Right.
You know, that's why the whole world's watching it. You know what I'm saying? On both sides. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's really a war for humanity.
Because think about it like this, like you said, Australia, but you right over by it, New York. The things that's going on in New York. Usually, what happens in New York, the rest of the country follows suit in it. It's
Follow
just
suit, yeah, no doubt.
it's like, oh, well,
No doubt.
we're testing it right here, and once we get all the bugs worked out, then we're gonna work it out throughout the whole country. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, they're starting to infiltrate Texas too. Slowly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see how they're trying to. Well, you know.
Texas is putting up a fight, but you know, there's some politicians in there that's you know, really grinding, so gotta watch out for them, you know, you know, the general direction that they're going and the way that they're handling, you know, the situations concerning our liberties and freedoms and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? I'm digging that. I'm really looking at Texas as a place to go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because right now I'm in position. You know what I'm saying? I'm in position to do anything I want. So, you know, that's what I've been working on, man. That's why I've been moving all that shit so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm just trying to work my way into position. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I mean, like I look at it. Let's even go back to George W. Bush. You know, after the whole situation that came after 9/11 when that happened. You know, he said, yeah, we're now in a global economy, and like global economy, and a lot of people didn't understand that, but it's like we don't just do business with each other here; it's all across the globe financially.
Right.
And
Right.
you figure that we don't build anything like all the old school cars you used to see. None of that kind of stuff is built here. Like a new car that's the
Nah.
same car is not built here.
Nah. Nah. It's all you know, we're all one under one order. You know what I'm saying? This is what they've been wanting. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the whole world under one accord. And low key, I really think that the government started Bitcoin. They
Right.
started Bitcoin as a beta test
Mm-hmm.
on a new currency. You know what I'm saying? And Bitcoin is killing the U.S. currency. And the reason I think the government is doing it is because they talk about it on the
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They talk about how these dollars getting killed by Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? And now the dollar's losing crazy strength. That's why we're hyperinflating our economy. You know what I'm saying? Because the dollar's lost so much strength due to Bitcoin. And the reason I say that is before Bitcoin, every country had to, Saudi Arabia, first of all, only takes U.S. currency for oil.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, at the time. And so every country in the world had to change their currency to U.S. currency in order to buy oil from Saudi Arabia. And that's how America had their hand in every oil exchange in the world.
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah, through OPEC.
Pertaining to Saudi Arabia, right? So now Saudi Arabia is taking Bitcoin, you know what I'm saying, from some countries, and gold from some countries, which is bringing the U.S. dollar down, you know, compared to the rest of the world. When I look at the chart, the U.S. dollar always seems to be the standard of the world. You know what I'm saying? But you know, lately it's been like really low because I really mess with the currency page. You know what I'm saying? I do that. That's another thing that I do and shit. You know what I'm saying? I mess with currency pairs through the forex market. So you know, so when I watch that stuff, and so like yesterday was the worst day since the pandemic on the stock market, and that shit affected the hell out the U.S. dollar. Like yesterday, I didn't do any trades yesterday because the money was just crazy because some shit with the Chinese bailout that kind of fuck with all the economies in the world, and you know, us having a bad, you know, down like 500%. Something, you know, still in one day, and that's the worst drop. You know what I'm saying? So right now is a good time to get into companies like, you know, Bed Bath and Beyond. They lost 22%. You feel me? So right now is a good time to buy the dip. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I've been waiting for the stock market to crash. That's why I said I've just been trying to get myself in position. I've been waiting for this moment. I've been waiting for everything to crash. You feel me?
You're right.
Because it's a lot of money in that, and I done learned how to make the money in it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's a really I don't know, exciting time in my life right now. A lot of wheels are turning and shit, and it's due to a lot of factors. You know what I'm saying? But photography is like a you know, back thought now.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not even really, you know what I'm saying? People hit me up, you know what I'm saying, for that, you know, with that little photography money and shit. And I'm like, man, you feel me? Because, you know, with these trades, you know what I'm saying, I can make what I make in a photo shoot in 5 minutes.
So essentially, that's more of a. It's done moved into a hobby. The hobby more than you know. This is what I'm just gonna totally dedicate, you know, my being towards, and that's understandable. If one's, you know, garnering, you know, a mass amount more money, then that's where you're gonna move to. Especially in these times, I look at it like this, you know. Like if you're in the car market right now, a used car sale, you getting money because not a lot of people are buying new cars because it's the chip shortage and things like that.
Right. So, it all started, right? So, with me, you know, kind of like stop fucking with photography. I mean, I still mess with it. I got it. You know, if I got a photo shoot in the morning,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I still do it, but I'm not like chasing it like that because I'm on something else that is really popping right now.
Right.
Like right now, maybe later on when the market settles down, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It might, you know, not be as popping, but right now, she's popping. So I'm just kind of focusing on that. You know what I'm saying? Get it while it getting good, like they say. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Ain't nothing wrong with building up your nest egg, to be righteous. So,
Right. No doubt. So it's funny, right, the way everything happened. So um, I got rid of, some toxic things and people in my life. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And within that week, right, my nephew had posted a rabbit on his little Facebook story.
Right.
And it was a rabbit that was sitting outside his car and shit. And then he posted a meme right afterwards about the rabbit and how things wealth in abundance and all that shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, And I left where I was at, and what was waiting for me outside was this rabbit. And I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck, you know what I'm saying? So, I wasn't thinking about the rabbit until I saw the rabbit, and I took a picture of the rabbit and sent it to my nephew and shit. And so the very next day, I'm heading into my job, and where I usually smoke a cigarette right before I walk in the door and shit was this little booklet. It was called The Millionaire's Booklet. It's simple, Millionaire's Booklet, and they got this white dude in the suit, signing something on it, right?
Right.
And I just grabbed it, threw it in my pocket, and just kind of forgot about it, you know what I'm saying? Because, I like shit like that, you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was talking to somebody like the next day, and I told him about the Millionaire's Booklet, and they was like, you got that shit? I was like, yeah, I got that shit. He was like, how'd you get it? And I told him how I got it. They was like, yo, that's how you supposed to find it. I'm like, what do you mean? That book, people leave it places, that little booklet, they leave it places and shit. You know what I'm saying? Right, for somebody to pick up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, that means something that you found that shit. And I'm like, right. So, I started reading the book. And in the third chapter, it said just that. It said, hold this book until you become a millionaire. And once you become a millionaire, pass it off somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And pass it off to a stranger. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. So I need this dude, same spot. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Now where I work at, it's a bunch of ultra rich motherfuckers. You feel me? Like rich.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like $1 million bills. You know what I'm saying? I work at a hotel, right?
Right.
And I've seen $1 million bills. Like people have stayed there for 3-4 months and leave with $1 million bill. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And that's insane to me, but I've seen it. I've seen crazy shit. And then, anyway, the whole point is this dude hit me to this fucking trading shit. You feel me?
Yeah.
And it's been popping ever since. Like you trade as a team. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it's me, him, and sometimes 30 other people on Zoom calling trades. You know what I'm saying? So, right. So, what I don't know, they know.
Okay.
And there might be something that I know that they don't know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so we execute our trades. You know what I'm saying? And we just do that shit all day whenever we find time. Just, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the beautiful thing about the Forex market. It's open from Sunday at 5 p.m. and closes Friday at 5 p.m. So all that time you can trade any time of day. My favorite time of day to trade is 3 in the morning when the London market opens. You feel me? Yeah, so that's kind of why I kind of stopped fucking with photography.
Now, how long have you been on it?
Have I been doing the trading?
Yeah.
4 months.
Okay.
4 months. You know what I'm saying? I went from I really shouldn't say the number, but I went from a $250, deposit, to 5 figures. Let's just say that in 4 months. You know what I'm saying? Just pressing a green button or a red button. And that's the other thing, it doesn't matter if it's going up or down. We just have to know where it's going within 2 to 3 minutes. See, I do high frequency.
Okay.
That's why I say, so high frequency is instead of like a whole day trade or 2 days or a week, you know what I'm saying? We do it by the minute. So it's like within the next minute, you know what I'm saying? We watch the pips. The pips is the point in percentage, and that's the third number from the decimal of figures. So you see a dollar dot 0.00045. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's really a dollar. You know what I'm saying? But we watch those pips. That's where our money is at. Our money is at the pip. So, I had to learn all that shit. But it was worth it, yo. You know what I'm saying? So this is my, doing something I never did. You know what I'm saying? To get what I never got. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm going to keep grinding. You know what I'm saying? Until I can pass my book off. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now tell me this. Have you heard of, what is it? It's another guy I watch here on YouTube. He goes by 2 names, Serial Marshmallow and One Owner Car Guy. And he does Bitcoin mining. And he got these, I don't know if they're hard drives or whatever he got. They're hooked up to his computer, and they run like 24 hours a day. He said I don't know if it's a hard drive, each hard drive, he got little ones. And I want to say he got maybe about 5 to 10. He said each one of them makes like $10 a day of those machines. They just run all day. And he doesn't have to do nothing but have them hooked up to, the internet and everything like that.
Right. That's a lot of electricity.
Yeah, I want to say he said it runs at a pace where it's not burning a lot.
Okay.
I forgot what he told me. Or not told me, but what he said, it runs at a lower pace where it's not, offsetting the cost of, what he's pulling in. But,
now, something that I haven't gotten into that I want to is the NFT.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Because I'm good with art. I was like, man, it's some people to get rich just making them. This is essentially some of them look like gifts, where it just keeps looping and looping and things.
Yeah, so you saw my photos of the chick with the body paint, the glow.
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking about putting that to an animation type of thing, and just have the streaks in her face and her hair and all that. You know what I'm saying? Have it computerized, moving around and type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And turn that into an NFT. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got tutorials on how to do that right here on YouTube. I've been watching those and like, man, I do artwork. That would be something, trading and all that, that's good. But I've been seeing some people clear some money doing those because, essentially that's almost like a new age paint is digital. They get it exclusive.
Right. So, that's the thing about NFTs. You don't have to create one and make money off of it. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen people just yesterday buy an NFT for $7, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sold it for $400.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, so basically just don't even put no work into it. Just buy one for cheap and flip it.
Right. bought it for $7, and then he was asking $1,000 for it. You know what I'm saying? Knowing he wasn't gonna get $1,000, but he got the $400. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, and he said the best time to buy NFTs is at night because it's whatchamacallit, less gas fees.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? In the daytime, and the gas fees is the fees for the people that are actually putting in the work to, do whatever, do what they do. But, you know what I'm saying? It's pay those people. That's the gas fees. But at night, the gas fees are really low, and sometimes not at all. But sometimes you can get an NFT for $7, but you pay $37 for it with the gas fees. So you have to charge, you know what I'm saying, for full profit. You feel me?
Yeah.
So the $7 comes off of the creator. The creator might have put it out there for $7. You know what I'm saying? And then through a 10% vig on every sale. You know what I'm saying? You can do 10%, you can do 5%, you can do all the way up to 20%. But the norm is 10%. You know what I'm saying? So when dude sold that shit for $400, he had to give up $40 to the creator. You dig?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how that works.
Okay.
And so there's some and it's hooked up to the Ethereum blockchain.
Yeah.
Which also adds value to the NFT. So as Ethereum goes up, the value of the NFT goes up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking into it really, really, really hard. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to jump into it until I fully know what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. You don't want to do like, man, I ain't doing it right. I want someone who's kind of versed in it, and then put me up on game and be like, okay, I've seen how they're moving with this. I can do it.
Yeah. I know somebody, and I'm gonna get to talk to him tomorrow night. Yeah, tomorrow Saturday. Yeah, we having a Zoom call tomorrow about NFTs.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's I'm really, really, trying to get this money. You know what I'm saying? But it's not just about money with the trading. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta be so focused and so patient. You know what I'm saying? It's all about patience and knowing when to strike, because we only in there for a hot second. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's why we call it hype. We call it hype. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna keep, doing this until they come up with laws to ban it, because they're trying. You feel me? They're trying to ban like group trading. Ever since that GameStop shit that happened, they've been working on laws to try and ban group trading. So, I'm trying to get what I can get out of it before, it goes to shit.
That makes sense. You put your irons all up in the fire, and this don't hit, I'm doing this one. If this don't hit, I'm doing when this one's doing this. I'm gonna start this one over here. I mean, that's what it's about. It ain't just, I'll just stick to the old way. The old ways are going away. That's what a lot of people ain't understanding.
Right. Bitcoin, that's, and cryptocurrency period, that's just gonna be our world. You know what I'm saying? I listen to like people that's just not trusting it. You know what I'm saying? They're like, nah, I ain't messing with Bitcoin. I'm like, so what do you do with your money? I gotta put it in the bank, and that shit makes me laugh. Like 1% interest, 2-3%. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's nothing.
I put money in Bitcoin and with like 400% in a year. You know what I'm saying? So come on. But I know this girl who, she wasn't making no more than $14 an hour. She never made more than $14 an hour. And she grew her account to getting $1 million. You feel me? Crazy. she had a problem when she tried to withdraw the whole thing. She tried to withdraw the whole thing. These motherfuckers opened up an investigation.
All right, that's gonna happen.
Yo, our money was tied up for like a half a year.
Ooh.
Yeah. Like everybody was running investigations. The IRS, the SEC, the FBI. I mean, it was crazy.
Mm.
But she finally got her money, you know what I'm saying? They were trying to get her for embezzling and all kinds of shit.
Right, because, you know, you raise red flags. It don't matter who you are. That's why, you know, a lot of people don't know. Oh, look, whatchamacallit taking a picture with his money right in the bank. You heard what he just said, in the bank. Because it ain't like he taking it out. It's just right there. Now, put it right back. Because if you take any of this out, you're going to cause a stir. Because think about real money like that. Now, we ain't talking no 1,000 or something. We're talking like you just said, like 1 million, 500,000. You can do things in the street and make certain things happen and happen to people. So that's what draws them red flags like that.
Right. But yeah, I've met some interesting people since I, started this venture. You know, but yeah. I heard you were saying on your podcast the other day, on the live, I think it was yesterday, about y'all still having summer out there?
Having what out here?
Summer.
Oh yeah, it's still nice out here. It's usually
still nice? Yeah. It done got cold up here.
Yeah, we was up to like 81 a day or something like that.
Hell no, we ain't getting that. Shit. Yeah, we using coats today.
Yeah, because by this time, usually my cars that I ride in the summertime, I've been stopped driving on. I still been driving like it ain't never stopped. Like, man, I ain't complaining because it get cold here in Minnesota. In January, it could be 58 below or something. But that lets you know how they messing with the weather too, though. And this is the thing about it, a lot of people say, oh, that was 2020. No, Texas, remember that freeze came through Texas and messed everything up? That was just earlier this year that happened.
Right. And it's suspect how they blame Texas, using oil.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's funny how Chuck Schumer got on the news talking about, we learned our lesson. Like, really? You know what I'm saying? It's using red flags. And I'm going to send you a link about that, too.
Okay.
I'm going to send you a link and check it out.
But you know what it is? They probably got money tied up in solar panels and the wind turbines and all that. So, of course, they want something like that to happen.
Right.
And what a lot of people don't know, they've been saying it, they say 2030, that's far. No, 2030 really is not that far.
No, it ain't.
They're talking about what? No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, because I know there was like this thing, Agenda 2030.
Right.
Yeah. But I'm not sure about the specifics of it. You know what I'm saying? So,
it's a lot of different things that entail that. It's not just one specific area, but it involves how we view society and how we operate throughout society. I'll just say one of them, and we can kind of see. I can go through the sticks, and I've been noticing a lot of farms that got solar panels on them. Solar panels like far, or wind turbines. I see that. Or what they say, all automakers by 2030, they're not gonna make gas cars no more. It's gonna be electric. So that's another way of tracking people. You know, where you plug
right,
in at and where you're going
right,
to.
right, right. And also there's this new gas tax that not gas tax, a mileage tax that they're
Yeah.
trying to
I've been seeing now.
push
Now I
through.
gotta I
Right.
gotta see more on that because some say that's fake, and then others saying no, that's real. They
It's
said
not.
eight
No,
eight
that's real as
cents,
fuck. Yeah.
8 cents a mile or something like that.
Yeah. You see how they be sneaking these things
Those,
in these, get those bills. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
Just,
And pass them at
yeah.
nighttime when everybody's sleep and everything.
Right. Right. Or they just make the bill so so big, like I think it was the last stimulus package.
Yeah.
They had to bring that onto the floor in wheelbarrows.
Mm.
That's how. Yeah. So and that's why there's so much sneaky stuff that gets passed because people aren't reading it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Until it's been passed. But the main thing is something that the people want. So they'll have like a real attractive sounding bill with some, what I'm saying, really evil fine print, what I'm saying, that people sign on to because they need, what I'm saying, they need whatever it is that's in the bill that they need. And at the time, we need the stimulus, I guess. You know what I'm saying? So, motherfuckers like, nah, that's that bill, you feel me?
Right.
And that's how they operate.
Mm-hmm. It's like that. This was it. I heard this person say, what they say. They pay for your schooling to the best college education, but they molested you all when you were a kid. I'm like, that ain't a trade off.
Right. No doubt. No doubt. That's a good analogy. I like that. Yeah. But yeah, I'm about to get up off this thing. I got some things I gotta handle
Okay.
before I chime in. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I say this: you help make the podcast by you said, man, I'm gonna come up in here, and you drop a wealth of knowledge that I know people that's checking in on this, or like you said, behind the wall, passing it around. Like, man, what did he say? I missed that. Man, he done did this. That inspires me to get up on my thing once I touch down on ground again on the outside. That's what I feel my channel's here for people that feel like, man, I done ran out of options. What kind of direction can I go towards, to make it better for me and mine,
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I hope they hearing this, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give a shout out to my people in Shirley. You know what I'm saying? And y'all in Massachusetts, y'all know what that is.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, they know what it is.
All right. Well, have a good night. Hey.
No doubt. I'm catch you on the next one, Lee.
All right. Most definitely.
All right.
Peace.
Peace out.
Yep. And as you have it, anyone can do it. You can actually call in and speak about what's going on, what you're actually seeing in this world, what you are actually doing to improve your world and the world around you. You can actually call in, and that's why I do call-ins. Like I said, I like I done sat in on some of them Twitter spaces. I haven't checked out Clubhouse, but I heard it's similar to Twitter spaces where a person has a topic, and it's almost like a town hall meeting. You go back and forth, and you're like, well, I know this, I done seen this, or whatever. Matter of fact, I'll add one little thing. I gotta somewhat edit it, but I sat in on one of those, and I got in a conversation with a brother, and he said, with this whole thing that they got going around, that's talked about on every news channel, all social media programs about, you're catching something. They said, I work for an insurance company. I said, okay, that's cool. He said, if any of the people that they may have had a insurance policy for however many years they've been paying how much it is worth however much, if they get diagnosed with having the thing that's so dreaded, their insurance policy is rendered null and void. It doesn't matter how much you've been paying. So all those years, the person has been putting their money down on, hopefully, getting taken care of when they're, it comes time to be buried, or, their family members being covered for their loss. It's rendered null and void because of that. They rewritten a line within the insurance code to, essentially get off scot-free and not have to, own up to, uh, making good on that particular policy because of that. It's like, Tony Styles was talking about how, they sneak bills in and sneak so many, different things in that, oh yeah, we gave you this one thing, but did you see these other 20 things that essentially makes those things don't mean anything? So, but that's a main one. Think about this. Remember, it was a time when you couldn't even go see your loved ones because of that, and they were cremating people and things like that. If you've been paying your insurance, you should ask about that. You're putting your money down. Is your particular policy like that, like this particular? Because he was just for one particular insurance company, but I'm quite sure a lot of other insurance companies operate in the same fashion. You wouldn't want to find out your grandfather, your mama, your daddy, your auntie, your uncle, your brother done been paying all this money, and then their family's not taken care of in the end because of what they rewrote in the code. That renders what they've been working hard for and putting their money towards is non-existent because of that. It's becoming to be a more colder and cold world. It's already been a cold world, but it's getting colder, and what helps you and what helps all of us is having a conversation, a dialogue. Who do you see? They say it's only so many people within this particular live stream, but when it goes up to a video, I don't even count the counter no more, because you figure they're not giving true accounts. They ban people from being able to, like, well, some people are, Rick, I try to, come in the chat. They won't even let me. They didn't even show an option. So that lets you know how much hindrance they don't want interaction, because it ain't what I got to say. It's what you have to say. And interaction through interaction, when we interact, it's new things that's birthed out of that. Like, whoa, I didn't know this was going this direction. Oh, we go into so many various directions that can actually help us from falling into pitfalls that will benefit someone that doesn't look like you or me, or they can look like you or me, but they're not really for you or me. I don't want to aid and assist anyone that wants to really see my downfall of my people. Anyone that wants to really not get trapped or be trapped. It ain't about being trapped. A lot of people like, I'm trapping, but you don't want to be the one trapped. It's all about hopefully, providing the best life possible that you can for your loved ones, and staying out of the way of those that profit off of, what can be your downfall. It doesn't have to be. Just like we were speaking earlier, brothers behind the wall, I'm like, man, I done got busted for this. I don't want to come back here doing the same thing. I need to do something different that's going to prosper my family, that's going to make me a better person. A pillar in my community where, a little young brother, a young sister see me and be like, you know what? I may not want to do what they're doing, but that inspires me to do, whatever my passion may be. That's what we need to start building upon. And with that being said, we've been on here 54 minutes. I appreciate you, Cadillac J Just. You came through. and whoever else that done came through and was unable to, speak. Hey, I appreciate you. Hopefully you catch the replay, and you'll catch a magnificent conversation that was had. I'm gonna try to come on again. I'm gonna try to stay true to coming on, and most definitely, Tony Styles, you was a hell of a contributor to the podcast tonight, and I appreciate that. But yeah, I'm gonna try to come on again tomorrow night, Saturday night. Hopefully, yeah, you got a little bit of time. This may be your time off the job site if you one that's punching the clock, or you've been doing your independent thing, getting your bread, and you got a little bit of breathing room. You can actually take the time to listen. Same time. I'm gonna try to shoot for the same time. 10, 10, 20, 10, 10, somewhere around there. It'll be around that time, and depending on what part of the world you in. I'm central, so it's gonna be 10 something. But if you in New York Eastern area, is gonna be 11 something. If you're in Cali, you'll be 2 hours behind, so it'll be 8 something. So, and if you're wherever else across the world, whatever it may be 5 in the morning where you at across the globe. Hey, if you can get up at that time, that's cool. If not, you can catch the replay and add your comment if they let you. With that being said, hey, hopefully everyone has a prosperous night. And I'm Reek of Tukuda Khan. And if you're actually subscribed to the Patreon, Tukuda Khan, I will be having a new Lions Den posted up on there soon. I'm working on it right now. Right after I get off this live stream, I'll be going back to editing, and I'll have it posted for those that are Patreon supporters, because so I say supporters because you're actually paying whatever you feel that you need to support to view that particular content. I don't have a certain, well, this is this tiller or that's that tiller. No, it's whatever you can contribute is what's up. I had to create that because this platform doesn't pay me zero, and I'm monetized. And I got countless videos and been on here uh, countless years. But my content is about waking up melanated brothers and sisters, and they don't like that too much. They don't want us awake, and they want us sleeping, steadily in our pockets and in purses and things like that. No, I don't want that. I want, like what Tony Styles said, hey, I went from this to this many figures. I want that. I want that for all of us that can, put together the sense to make it happen. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And with that being said, I'm up out of here. Have a lovely night.